Everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the latest info from Star Citizen developers regarding the status of various new ships and old concepts alike. With a massive info dump from today's Star Citizen Live, this video will primarily be focused on updates in regards to upcoming ships and updates to in-game systems. For a while now, there's been a clear push and pull between creating brand new flyable ships and finishing the long list of concepts we've all been waiting for. The developers shed some light on this, confirming it's a constant balancing act. On one hand, new ships generate revenue and keep the game afloat. On the other hand, they know the community is eager for ships they've already bought. A major point that was made in the Q&A is that the Bonu Merchantman is not in the 2026 release schedule. They're hoping to get a team back on it in the later half of that year, but its development is on hold for now. This choice was made primarily due to resources. The Bonu Merchantman is a massive undertaking that requires a lot of bespoke assets, unlike RSI ships which can reuse existing design kits they've already made. On a better and brighter note, we're likely to see a different approach to ship releases going forward. The developers hinted that 2025 will be the first year without any new concept ship sales. This is a major change and shows a commitment to getting previously sold ships and their corresponding gameplay loops into the game as soon as possible. And speaking of big ships, the developers also confirmed that they're developing the unnamed battle cruiser that was part of the original Kickstarter stretch goals. While it's still in very early concepting stages, it's expected to be the largest and most powerful ship in the game when it eventually arrives. The developers did note it will likely be their last concept promotion, as they are trying to shift into a full straight-to-flyable initiative for all future ships. Now let's talk about some ships that have been on our minds for a while. First, we're going to talk about the 600i and its rework. The developers were asked directly about its status, and the answer, while a little painful to hear, was very clear. The rework is still planned, and they're happy with the concept they showed off previously. However, it's not in the 12 to 18 month schedule. They're prioritizing new ships because the 600i, while old, is still a functional ship people have in their hands. The team is also working on a few key projects. The first big one is prioritizing starter ships for a full gold pass, as they have fallen out of date and do not provide a good experience to new players. The team has also confirmed that the Aurora is finally getting its pass. They emphasize that the Aurora is being prioritized as it's one of the most used ships in the game. This update means it'll receive physicalized components, an updated dashboard, and other fixes to bring it in line with modern ships. The Aurora will be introduced back to the Pledge store once work is complete. The team also discussed the Gattac Raylan. While it's visually unique, they confirmed that its triangular cargo pods will hold standard SU containers. Developers have some ideas on how to wrap that up in the Gattac style and are looking into significantly increasing its cargo capacity. During the CitizenCon 2953 Talking Ship panel, a fourth variant of the Zeus Mark II, referred to as the Zeus Mark II ST, was briefly shown, unintentionally. The developers have since clarified that this is a variant that was not released because its intended gameplay loop is not yet fully fleshed out. The developers want to ensure the ship is released alongside its relevant gameplay mechanics. The devs also made a point to mention that they're aware that people are frustrated with the Carrot cargo pods. They clarified that the pods were never designed to be opened while inside the ship. They were intended to be dropped out. However, a full rework of the ship's belly would be necessary to change this, so don't expect it anytime soon. And they also mentioned that the G12, while still in the backlog, is a clean and straightforward vehicle, but essentially it keeps getting pushed down the road just due to that simplicity, in favor of higher priority projects. The developers also addressed the Kruger L21 Wolf, which launched without a full gold standard pass. They confirmed this was due to time constraints and that they wanted to release the ship in August. They are actively working on a gold standard pass for the Wolf, including physical components and other updates, and are aiming to have it released by November, alongside more Wolf-related items they didn't clarify. Beyond the ships themselves, the team also gave major updates on core gameplay systems. The team emphasized that engineering gameplay is not being held back by ships. Over half of all ships are already ready for it with physical components. They emphasized it's primarily smaller ships that were not updated to have physicalized components. Instead of doing this, single-seaters will have a fallback mode where you can interact with engineering via MFDs. Alongside this, apparently something was done for balancing, which they didn't go into details regarding. The developers also addressed the issue of punching and shooting doors open. They clarified that it's a temporary placeholder, that in the future, all damage could be calculated through a damage threshold system. This means that if a weapon like your fist doesn't meet a minimum damage threshold, it won't have any effect on the armored doors or hulls. This change will make ship combat and boarding far more realistic and engaging. And for those of you with capital ships, the team has also mentioned that existing PDC turrets, including laser repeaters and the new missile turrets, should be available to purchase in-game for aUEC by November. The team also addressed the trend seen on recent ships like the Meteor and the Wolf that make use of bespoke weaponry. They clarified this is not a long-term plan or a move away from swappable weapons. Instead, it's a design choice for both gameplay balancing and visuals. Bespoke weapons allow them to fine-tune a ship's damage output without making it overpowered. They also allow for unique visual integration. where weapons can be seamlessly integrated into the ship's body. They also confirmed that upcoming ships like the Perseus will also feature bespoke weapons. Another major development is that the ship's modularity system is officially functional and out in the game with the Retaliator. The only thing stopping it from being rolled out to other ships is time and resources. The team confirmed that the Apollo is coming next month with all of its modules. While this is a huge win, they did emphasize that the Apollo will launch without its drone functionality. The drone bay will remain in the ship and be patched in later. The good news is that the Apollo will give anyone that purchases it all of its modules for free, regardless of when it was purchased, and this includes purchases made after its release. This is a fantastic show of good faith from the developers. They also said they're making an attempt to get medical beacons back into the game for the Apollo's release after they previously had issues. And on a final note regarding the Retaliator, they confirmed that older unreleased modules like the living quarters and dropship are still planned for future release, but there are no concrete plans for additional modules. The developer did express a desire to add a medical module and bomber module. Another feature that's finally making progress is the command module system, which is a complex technical feature. The developers stated that they would like the Ironclad to launch with the functionality, which suggests that it might not be released this year. They also confirmed that the Ironclad will not be getting PDC turrets, but on the bright side, they did emphasize that Caterpillar and the Ironclad will get this feature once it's ready. The developers also emphasized that the system for ship-to-ship hangar refueling, rearming, and repairing is being developed now. This is a critical feature that will allow a small ship to land in a larger ship's hangar and consume resources from the parent ship's cargo grid. This will be a key part of making capital ships like the Idris truly functional as mobile bases of operation. They also noted that this system is being expedited for some upcoming content they have planned for next year. The developers were also asked about the long and skippable ship entry and exit animations. They acknowledged that some of these are too long, especially for certain ships like the Talon. While they're not planning a global rework of the tech, they are looking for ways to give players more control and the ability to cancel these animations in the future to improve the experience overall. And finally, the developers expressed a desire to allow for internal ship liveries so you can customize the interior of your ship with different colors and finishes. While this is a feature they would love to do, it is a significant technical challenge and not currently a high priority. They did, however, mention that they've been trying to set up newer ships to support this functionality for the future. And finally, the team confirmed that ship-to-ship docking is still a planned feature and a key goal for the game. This functionality will allow two ships to physically connect, enabling crew to transfer and other future gameplay. However, they didn't provide a specific timeline for this, and they reiterated that it is a system that's still in active development. And there you have it, everyone. A massive info dump from the latest Q&A. Clear that the team is focusing not only delivering old promises, but also laying the groundwork for some truly game-changing systems and experiences like engineering and modularity. While some of the news means a longer wait for certain ships, the focus on foundational gameplay and tech and a straight-to-flyable model for new ships is a very promising sign for the future of the game. What part of this update are you most excited for? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this summary helpful, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more Star Citizen content, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.